Hey everybody, and welcome back to our MC Radio series, Mom Leaders Who Are Making It Happen. Yesterday, we met with all the powerful moms in our series, Chantel, Veronica, Viviana, and Sandy. And today we're gonna dive into all things family. So ladies, when we're talking about the context of the pandemic, clearly a lot has changed for all of us. So can you talk about some of the things that you're doing with your family to normalize the unnormal? And maybe what has changed for you and your family specifically during this time?
At first we thought this can't last very long, right? This isn't going to last forever. But something that we've started to do now that we're realizing, okay, we're in it for the long haul. Let's start getting our butts in gear is Friday night dinners in our backyard. We are the type of family that is always on the go. Philip and I both have pretty large families. Philip's family is very close knit, which I absolutely love, but that can make for, very tough schedules because they're always planned. Every weekend we have something going on. So I think with this pandemic over the last 7 months, we've been able to create, some just close knit things that just Philip and I and the kids do. And it's been really great. So Friday nights are our grill out and the kids go and draw little chalk on the floor of their restaurant name and make little menus for us. They act like they're our waiters and waitress. So that's a lot of fun for us. And I think it's something that we all look forward to pretty much every Friday.
My youngest one had a hard time with school. In fact, she kind of was missing the first few weeks of school, and I was in tune to the new virtual session. And I was struggling. Her grades were failing pretty bad, and Luciana's normally like a 3.8, 4.0 student, but she was learning how to buck the system. She did all her work in advance, and so she decided not to log in a day. So what ends up happening? She's in the kitchen right now, knocking it out, and I had to bring her down closer to my vicinity. I had to order a desk for a while and keep her right next to me.
One, I appreciate having him here, of course, like the girls did too. I think when he was going to work, it was hard because he's missing out on things, like the first words and the walking and, so now that he's here, it's like, yay, he's here, but he's really not, he's got to be on the calls and the conference calls. So in the beginning, we struggled because our office, the way it's positioned in our home, it's like kind of an essential part of the house. It basically turned my master room into a living room where I can entertain them.
But my 3 S's hinge around screen time, sleep, and social. So for me, those are the things that I focus on to try to keep a more normalized pattern within the house, and make sure we've always done well as a family unit in a structured environment. But this particular environment can throw some monkey wrenches into it. So we have tried to kind of focus on a structure, which I think has been helpful. Now, when the children were young, do you remember the first guidance that came out from the pediatricians was no more than 2 hours of screen time? And I'm like, oh boy, we've blown by that by breakfast. So 2 hours, I'm like, seriously, there's no way to limit it to 2 hours. Let's make sure that we have gotten out. Part of the challenge, I think, in this environment is the repetitiveness, that we have in our daily schedules. So just making sure we're breaking that up a little bit. So that's from a screen time perspective. And I am a big believer, in fact, many studies support that sleep at this particular age, and really all children, is critical. So Marge, your question, we have that very specific bedtime. And I know that seems strange when they are older, but they have prospered, and the studies are undeniable that academic performance is linked to better sleep. But the biggest thing has got to be social. These are those important years where they want to be linked, to their friends. So we're finding opportunities to bring the kids and to host where we can, in fairly safe environments. Maybe we do a big bonfire outside, right? So the small groups of kids or friends can come over and they can still have, that time together. But that piece is so important, at this age.
Oh my gosh, love that question. I always pick up some different things that different families are doing that I'm like, oh, I absolutely should implement that. So absolutely enjoyed those answers. All right, ladies, next question. So what has been positively surprising during the pandemic for you and your family?
I guess the creativity with my kids. They've been making bread. I was making bread, which I don't cook. Anybody who knows me will be shocked about that. The kids have started painting again. More communication between my spouse and I. We're really enjoying this work from home scenario and being with each other.
And the fact that they can still go to him and be like, hey, Daddy, look at what we're doing. Or, can you help us with this? And he can take a quick second to acknowledge that. It's brought the family way closer.
I have found so many blessings in all of this because I had a little baby and the hospital was not chaotic at all. It was just me and Philip, and we just chilled with our new little baby, and it was easy. And then we come home and people were just so willing to help. Like I said before, our lives were just go, 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 go. I don't think we ever really just had a day where we stayed at home, which I love my home very much. And I did before the pandemic, but now I am super grateful for it.
That is so exciting that even through all of the challenges, connectedness seems like something that everybody's been able to enjoy. So what's something that your family or your significant other that's been challenged with during this time? And how are they and how are you making it work?
When COVID hit, we had a scare. My older daughter thought she had COVID. She came home from college, and so we were on a 14-day lockdown. My husband retired and he picked up another job. He works for medical device companies doing sales stuff now, so he's in the operating room. And he loves his new job, but he was trying to learn and grow in his new career. And then our daughter we thought she had COVID, so we were on lockdown, stuck in the house together. Tension got really high. It was kind of scary. And then once we figured out that she was negative, it kind of decreased a bit. But just the fact of having another adult, my daughter's now an adult who's 19, come home and live with us was pretty stressful because she was used to living her way in her life in college. And when she came back, she had to live within mom's rules. And I expect things done a certain way. So if you're in my house, we're going to follow the following rules because you're a big influence on the younger siblings. So it was a bit of a challenge. And then with my husband back home, I thought he hadn't been home for 20 years. He didn't sleep every night with us for 20 years because he was always battling fires or being at the fire station or picking up other jobs. And now for the first time, he's been home every single night. And it's actually a big stress relief for me for him to be home because at night now I can literally lean over and have somebody to hold and hug.
The space, you're bumping into each other. I'm screaming about bandwidth across the office. Somebody turn off the PS4. I can't even get video, and everybody's been kidding about that, but it is true. I'm like, I feel like we pay for the highest level of internet possible. What is the issue?
His grandfather was recently admitted into the ER. It's been really tough because the pandemic is here and only one person can go in the hospital, but then also his Nana's 94 years old and we are having issues, trying to balance that too. How do we make sure that she feels loved and taken care of, but then also how do we make sure that we all are organizing our schedules to be with Gramps when we can? Even sending Philip to the hospital was a little scary, he's going into the hospital. There's people who have COVID-19 there. He has to be extremely cautious every step he takes, literally every step. They had him in full scrubs one day there, and we're just really trying to take the right precautions and make sure that we're all being safe. But it's difficult when you have a family member in a situation that no one could have predicted.
Wow, it's so interesting to hear. You think of family makeup and you're just thinking of, oh, do you have kids? How old are they? But how I listen to you guys when you're talking through everything related to the family, I love the idea of walking every day and how that's kind of helped you normalize the scenario. Even interesting to have a retired husband in the house and kind of how does that look during COVID-19? But even this dynamic of some of us are caring for our elders and we have people in our family that are really close to us that may be sick or we have to attend to. And so our ability to connect with them is totally different. Great point of view today on the family. And for everyone else tuning in, we can't wait for tomorrow. Stick with us.